Do you remember the sound of a toy rattling in your hand? The one you haven't seen in decades? We all had a toy box once. A messy, magical chest of wonders. Plastic soldiers, dolls with tangled hair, cars missing wheels. Each piece carried a story. Tonight, let's open that box again. Let's step back into the 70s and 80s. Back to the toys that shaped us and somehow disappeared. The toy box wasn't just storage. It was a treasure chest. Every time you lifted the lid, you never knew what you'd find. Maybe the missing Lego piece. Maybe a forgotten marble. Maybe a broken toy you swore you'd fix but never did. That box was chaos, but it was our chaos. Childhood wasn't neat. It was messy, loud, and full of toys that made us who we are. Why did simple toys feel so big to us? Back then, toys weren't complicated. A ball, a yo-yo, a slinky sliding down the stairs. They were simple, but they filled our whole world. We didn't need apps or batteries. We just needed imagination. Think about the slinky. Just a coil of metal, yet we watched it tumble downstairs like it was alive. Or the yo-yo, just a string and a wheel. But it taught us patience, rhythm, and the joy of mastery. Simplicity wasn't boring. It was the canvas for our imagination. Do you remember the smell of opening a new toy box? The scent of fresh plastic. The cardboard packaging. That smell was joy itself. Today, toys come in glossy boxers with QR codes. Back then, it was raw, simple packaging. And somehow it felt more real. That smell meant possibility. It meant hours of play ahead. Even now, if you catch a whiff of old plastic or cardboard, it can transport you back instantly. Memory hides in the smallest details, even in a smell. Who was your hero in plastic form? The 70s and 80s gave us action figures. G.I. Joe, Star Wars figurines, He-Man. They were small, but they carried big dreams. We staged battles on the living room carpet. We gave them voices. We gave them courage. And when the plastic arms broke, we taped them back together. Action figures weren't just toys. They were storytelling devices. They let us create worlds. They let us dream beyond our size. Did your doll ever feel alive? Barbie ruled the shelves. Raggedy and warmed hearts. Cabbage Patch Kids caused shopping riots. These dolls weren't just toys. They were companions. We fed them invisible meals. We tucked them into shoebox beds. We whispered secrets to them. Sometimes, dolls were scary. Dolls' glass eyes staring at you in the dark. But mostly, they were comfort. They were proof that we could care for something. Dolls weren't just playthings. They were mirrors of our emotions. When was the last time you played Monopoly without rushing? Board games were more than games. They were family nights. Monopoly, Clue, Candyland. The dice rolled, the laughter echoed. Sometimes, the fights lasted longer than the game, but those nights stitched families together. Board games weren't about winning, they were about being together. Do you remember the sound of a toy that drove your parents crazy? The click-clack balls, the electronic Simon game with flashing lights. Even the squeaky rubber duck. Parents sighed, but for us, those sounds were music. Noise meant life. It meant energy. It meant we were alive and playing. Noise wasn't annoyance. It was proof of joy. What was the toy that pulled you outside? Bikes with banana seats. Skateboards with rough wheels. Frisbees flying across the yard. These weren't just toys, they were passports to adventure. They taught us balance, risk, and the joy of scraped knees. They taught us independence. The first time you rode your bike around the block alone, you felt like an explorer. Outdoor toys gave us freedom. Where did all those toys go? Walk into a store today, and you won't see many of them. The slinky is rare. The Viewmaster feels like a relic. Even simple marbles are fading. Toys have become digital. Screens replaced imagination. The classics disappeared quietly, like old friends moving away. Toys vanish, but memories stay. Why do these memories feel so warm tonight? Nostalgia is powerful. It calms the brain. It reminds us of safety, of childhood innocence. That's why remembering toys feels like a bedtime story. It's not about the plastic. It's about the feeling of being cared for, of being free. Nostalgia is medicine for the soul. Do you remember walking into a toy store with wide eyes? Rows of shelves, bright colors, the sound of boxes being stacked. Toy stores were temples of childhood. Today, many are gone, replaced by online shopping. But the memory of walking through aisles, touching boxers, begging parents, that memory lingers. Toy stores were more than shops. They were dreams made visible. Do you remember birthdays with toys wrapped in shiny paper? Unwrapping a toy was a ritual. The paper tearing, the gasp of surprise. The first touch. Today, kids unwrap tablets. Back then, it was a doll, a car, a puzzle. That ritual taught us gratitude. It taught us joy in small things. Rituals matter. They turn moments into memories. Do you remember laughing at a toy that broke in the funniest way? The toy that lost its head. The car that only rolled in circles. The doll that squeaked instead of talking. Broken toys were comedy shows. We laughed. We improvised. We made new games out of flaws. Imperfection was part of the fun. What did toys secretly teach us? They taught patience, building Lego towers, waiting for your turn in board games. They taught creativity, turning a stick into a sword. They taught resilience, fixing broken wheels. Toys were teachers disguised as fun. Play was education in disguise. What toy would you hold tonight if you could? As we drift to sleep, let's hold that memory. The toy that mattered most. Maybe it was a doll. Maybe a ball. Maybe a simple marble. It doesn't matter. What matters is the feeling. The warmth. The innocence. The reminder that joy can be simple. Toys fade. Childhood fades. But the memories remain. They live inside us, waiting to be remembered. If these memories touched you tonight, subscribe for more bedtime journeys into the past. Let's keep remembering together. Childhood toys may vanish, but the joy they gave us never leaves.